Um, the fact is that I struggled at school. I'm severely dyslexic, and when I was your age, I struggled with the alphabet. Um, that created a person who had to learn to think outside the box. And Jeremiah, if I'd have any one message for everyone out there, is that we all have a gift. And sadly, our school systems here in Canada, and I'm sure in Wisconsin, the US as well, tends to focus on curriculum and not on people. So I got through school. Don't ask me how. I didn't read a book from cover to cover till I was 27 years old. And I got through using my wit and my cunning. And that's a fact. At some point, an elder said to me, David, how did you manage to become a school principal when you didn't read? And I said, Creator gave me the gift of raven. And Jeremiah, I've tattooed a raven here on my arm. And the reason for that is because when I wake up in the morning and I see that raven in the mirror, I look towards heaven and I thank my Creator and I say, thank you for the gift that you've given me. I will build my life on my gift, not on money or ego. It's a reminder. I tattooed that on, and it came much later, Jeremiah. When I was your age, I had no idea. So I just kind of went with the flow, which is what people do. And I managed to scrape by. And so my upbringing was what created the person I am today. And I remain a raven, and I always will, surviving on my cunning and on my wit. And it just so happens that the name for a community of crows is called a murder of crows. A community of ravens is called a storytelling. We're storytellers. And Jeremiah, I've always known I was a storyteller. Can you imagine? I was a high school administrator, and I dawned on me one day that I was doing the wrong job. And I went home and I said to my wife, Vicky, I'm not supposed to be an administrator. I'm a storyteller. And she said, come on, honey, you're going to retire in 6 years and you can tell all the stories you want to tell. And I said, no, I just left the school board office. I quit my job. Jeremiah, I quit my job after 28 years because I was doing the wrong job. I'm a storyteller. And in the last 20 years, I've traveled 1 million miles and I've talked to 1 million people because that's who I am.
Like, like when you started making your narratives, how did you start?
What was your first story? What was your first book?
I guess you know that, Jeremiah, that all of your life is a story. Stories are, and I guess for me, because I was a talker and I love to talk, and I got in trouble, Jeremiah, in kindergarten for talking, where my kindergarten teacher looked at me and she said, I was 4 years old, Bouchard, veux-tu taire? Bouchard, do you want to stop talking? And I looked at her and I said, no, ma sœur. I knew then I loved talking, but it wasn't just me letting it out. I loved hearing what other people were going through. And if I met you on the street, Jeremiah, I would say, hey, what's your background? And you and I could sit and talk for an hour.